Mama. Welcome to today's yoga practice. Today we are going to be doing a gentle yoga flow to get the lymphatic system moving. So this is an internal system of ours that is responsible for eliminating toxins and waste from the body. So the lymphatic system runs parallel to our circulatory system, so running all over throughout the body, and contains over 600 lymph nodes, which are responsible for cleansing and monitoring the lymph, which is a fluid within the system. As the lymph circulates throughout the body, that is when it absorbs excess fluid, fats, hormones, bacteria, dead cells, and at the same time promotes the production of white blood cells, right? For boosting our immunity, for keeping us healthy, for protecting our systems. But the thing with the lymphatic system is it doesn't pump like our circulatory system. It needs to be stimulated. It does not move on its own. So the lymphatic system is stimulated and moved through movement, exercise, massage, and also deep diaphragmatic breathing, which we do a lot in yoga. So with today's class, we're going to be doing a lymphatic flow to help us to move this system, to release any excess or built up toxins and waste that maybe we have stored in the body, to boost our immunity, and to overall bring our bodies back into the states of homeostasis, of balance and equilibrium. So with that, we will begin. So you're going to want quite a few props for today's class. You're going to want to have some yoga blocks. Maybe you're going to want to have a bolster, and as well, we're going to want to have a rolled up blanket. So grab a blanket. If you don't have a blanket, this can be a towel. Remember, if you don't have a yoga bolster, you can use a pillow, or also just a bigger, maybe 2 towels rolled together. A yoga block, go ahead and grab a big book. We're just gonna want something that we can as well support ourselves with a little bit of height. So it as well could be a pillow, anything to just support you in this yoga practice. And we are going to begin lying down. So coming down onto the mat, let the feet be wider than the hips so the knees fall in. Take a moment to let the arms fall out to the sides, bringing the scapulas down the back so we have this nice opening up through the chest. Closing the eyes. Just really letting yourself melt into the floor. Softening the body a little bit more with every exhale. Just begin to take in your surroundings. Any sounds, any smells, any sensations on the skin. Begin to move that awareness now to the breath at the tip of the nose. Feeling cool air come in as you inhale. Warm air going out as you exhale. Really begin now to move that breath deep down into the belly. So we're using our diaphragm, filling our belly, feeling it expand as we breathe in. Letting the belly soften and fall, release as we breathe out. Inhale, moving the breath deep into the belly. letting it expand. Exhaling, letting the belly release and fall. Doing this for a few more breaths here, following your pace. One more breath. After the next exhale, you're going to lift your arms up. So your arms are going to come out to a T, palms still facing up. Move your feet in. So feet are touching, knees are touching. And we're going to cross that right leg over the left. And let our knees drop down towards the left-hand side. Trying to keep the right shoulder as much as possible onto the floor. Maybe if it feels good on the neck, we can bring the gaze out over the right hand. Gently twisting the body, waking up the spine. If that's too much on the neck, as we begin, you can keep the back of the head with the gaze up towards the ceiling. Finding what works for you for one more breath. Bringing our knees and gaze back up towards center, adjusting our hips if we need, uncrossing the right, bringing the left foot over, and let the knees drop down towards the right. Feeling this opening through the body. Maybe it feels good to let that gaze come out over towards the left hand. If that's just feeling like a little bit too much, let the gaze lift up. Finding what works for you in this moment here on your mat. Holding here for another breath. Inhaling, coming back to center. Now here you're going to grab your block or your bolster. We're going to place it underneath our sacrum, our lower spine, so we feel this support. So take a moment, get your block, your book, your pillow, maybe a stiff pillow. We're going to bring our legs up towards the ceiling into waterfall. So this is just like our legs up the wall pose, but without the wall, using the support of a block or a pillow underneath. Letting the arms fall out to the sides with the palms faced up. You're going to take 5 deep belly breaths here. Inhale, moving the breath deep into the belly. Let the belly expand. Exhale, letting the body and the belly fall. Inhale deep into the belly, letting it rise. Exhale, letting the belly soften and fall. Taking 3 more breaths here on your own. And after the next exhale, bringing the feet back down to the floor. We're going to leave our block or bolster exactly where it is. We're going to bend this right knee into our chest. Maybe we stay here. Maybe if we want a little bit more stretch through the front, you can begin to extend that left leg. If this feels too much, bring that left foot back down on the ground. Find what works for you. Maybe closing the eyes. Connecting with the breath. Let the breath be your guide. We want nice, long, deep breaths throughout this practice. If you notice that the breath starts to tighten or pick up its pace, you're probably going a little bit too far into a pose. Back off. It's okay. One more breath here. Bringing that left foot back in if we need, releasing the right. Coming into the other side, bending that left knee up. Bringing the hands around wherever they land. Maybe interlacing the fingers. Maybe just reaching behind the thigh. If we want a little bit more, begin to extend the right foot down towards the floor. Keeping the shoulders down on the mat as well. We don't want to be scrunching up to grab the leg. Breathing into the body, into the belly. Big, deep belly breaths as we sit here for 2 more rounds. And bringing the right foot back to the mat. If we had it extended, lowering the left. We're going to remove our block or bolster and walk the heels in towards the bum. You want your feet hip width apart. We're going to be coming into bridge pose. So let's grab our block and place it in between our inner thighs. This is going to help keep the legs active and keep the legs active so our knees don't fall out to the sides. So take a moment to tuck the pelvis, feeling the lower spine connect with the mat. And then on the next exhale, press the hips up, pausing here. Root down through the 4 corners of the feet so we're keeping a balance through the base of our feet. See if you can press and lift the hips a little bit more. Holding here for 1 more breath. The next exhale, slowly rolling the spine down. Good. Let's try again without our block or pillow. Taking a moment to reconnect. Feeling strong. Feeling the four corners of the feet, really through the pinky toe mound, big toe mound. Feeling the 4 corners of the feet, grounding down. Tuck the pelvis, lower back, connects with the mat. Pushing through the 4 corners of the feet, lift the hips, pause. Imagine, feel those legs activated, that we are squeezing that block. Legs aren't falling out, so pressing down, lifting the hips. Maybe we begin to walk the shoulders under the back, interlacing the fingers. If that's not available, leave the hands where they are. Seeing if we can press up even more, moving the chest towards the chin. 1 more breath. Exhale. Releasing our hands if they're under the back, slowly lowering the spine. Taking 1 breath here before rolling over onto our left side and slowly ourselves up to a cross-legged position. From here, maybe you can sit up on your block, a bolster, a pillow, just to give yourself a little bit of extra height in your hips, so we can keep a nice neutral spine. From here, we're going to root down, extend up through the crown, and let the right ear fall down towards the right shoulder. Maybe we begin to bring the left hand out to the side, feeling a nice stretch. The left side of the neck. Maybe you want to bring your right hand up and just give yourself a little massage. That feels good. Holding here for another breath. And coming back up towards center. Other side, we lengthen through the crown, inhaling. Exhaling, letting the left ear drop down towards the left shoulder. Make sure we're not reaching this left shoulder up. Let the shoulder be heavy. Let the head be heavy, just like gravity worked for you here. If you want a little bit more, reaching that right hand out to the side, creating this nice angle, bringing that left hand up, maybe just some gentle massage here in the neck. Doing that for one more breath. Coming back to center. Inhale, reaching our arms out and up, lengthen. Exhale, bringing the right hand, left knee, left hand behind the back. From here, we're actually going to bring the gaze over to the right knee. So we're really kind of creating this constriction here in the throat. Twisting the head in the opposite direction. Maybe you just want to play with gently reaching our head back. Feel how that stretches here through the left side of the neck. Breathing here for one more breath. Bring the head back to neutral. Inhale, arms reach up. Lengthen. Exhale, left hand, right knee, right hand behind the back. Bringing the gaze over to the left. Feeling this constriction here in the throat. Maybe we begin to reach our head back as we open through the right side of the neck. Just play with it. Create gentle movements, noticing what feels good. One more breath. Release back to center. Inhale, arms reach up. Lengthen. And exhale, hands come down. We're going to move forward onto hands and knees. Remove your pillow or bolster. Taking a moment to align. Hips over knees, wrists under shoulders, fingertips spread wide. Coming into our cat-cow. So inhale, let the toes come down as the belly drops, chest comes through, gaze forward, cow. Exhaling, tops of the feet to the floor, round through the spine, chin to chest, crown to floor, cat. Inhale, toes come down, tailbone lifts, belly drops, chest comes through, gaze forward into cow. Exhaling, pressing down through the palms and the feet, winding through the spine, cat. Taking a couple rounds here, following your breath, following your flow. Coming back to neutral spine. Tucking the toes under, ground into the palms, pressing down through all fives of the fingertips. Begin to lift the hips up as you melt your shoulders. So letting the knees be bent if the hamstrings are tight. When you feel ready, slowly begin to lower one heel at a time. So create some movement in the body. Let this feel good. If you find yourself you're rounding too much through the spine, bend the knees even more. Don't be afraid. See if you can get that belly on the thighs. Don't worry about the legs being straight here. You want this nice long length through the spine. Relax your head. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. Slowly lowering one heel at a time, as fast or as slow feels good. Bending both knees here, lengthen the spine. Then begin to walk your feet up towards your hands, letting there be as much of a bend as you need. Let the belly rest on the thighs. Grab onto the elbows and let your body hang. Feeling gravity pull your head down. Maybe letting the weight shift side to side. Creating some nice length, playing with some movement here. If that feels good, If it feels good to just be stable, just stand still. Breathing here for one more breath. Knees bent if we need. If hamstrings are so tight, let the knees bend as much as you need. Then grounding down through the four corners of the feet. Slowly begin to roll the spine up, one vertebrae at a time. Arms reaching out and up. Look up, palms touch. And exhaling, hands to heart. All right, stepping your right foot back. We're going to bring toes facing the sides of the mat. We want the outer edges of the feet in line, parallel with the top and back, with the front and back sides of your mat. So maybe that means the toes slightly come in. Have a look at your feet and align the outer edges of the foot. We're going to come into wide-legged forward fold. So hands coming to the hips. Inhale, roll the shoulders up and back. Breathe, lengthen. So for here, you might want to have your blocks handy. So outer edges of the feet parallel with the top and back of the mat. Hands coming to hips. Inhale, rolling our shoulders up and back. Let the heart lift, gaze up. Exhale, we're going to fold forward. You want to keep the belly active. So we're going to keep the spine nice and long as we hinge forward, keeping the heart open. Maybe we just come down to our blocks. If hamstrings are feeling tight, slight bend or bigger bend into the knees. Maybe we pause here. Maybe as you breathe in, you can come to a lower level of the block. Or maybe the hands can come to the mat. Keep that length in the spine. Inhale and exhale. Begin to fold a bit more. So finding wherever you are. Maybe we're just still here with the blocks. Maybe soft bend in the knees. We want to make sure we're not hyper extending back into the knees. So really activate those thighs. Feel the muscle. Activate the muscle. Make that lymph flow through the system. One more breath here. And wherever we are, we're going to move, if we need a block, move that to the center. We're going to ground down through the right hand. We're going to inhale, reach that left hand up towards the ceiling. So twisted, wide-legged forward fold. So with that inhale, really trying to stack the left shoulder on top of the right. Maybe the gaze lifts up towards the ceiling. If that's too much on the shoulder, let the left hand rest on the sacrum, on the lower back. With every inhale, really trying to open up through the chest, letting the gaze come up towards the ceiling or down at the mat if that feels better on the neck. Holding here for one more breath. Exhale, releasing the left hand down now to our block or to the floor. And inhale, reaching our right hand up. Begin to twist. If it's too much, let the hand rest on the back. Maybe the gaze lifts up towards the ceiling. If it's too much, let the gaze be down. Finding what works for you. One more breath here. Exhale, lowering the right hand down. Pause. Activate your core muscles. So really using those corset muscles, pulling. Imagine you're pulling on a tight pair of pants. Bring the hands to the hips. Pause. Roll the shoulders back, keeping the heart space open. Inhale slowly, coming up. Keeping your feet where they are. Keeping your feet where they are. We're going to bring the heels in, toes out. bending down into our goddess pose. So making sure the feet aren't too close together. We don't want the knees coming out over the toes. We want knees over heels, opening through the chest, lifting our arms up into cactus, bringing our thumb and pointer together. Goddess, breathing here. Inhale, extend, straighten the legs, reach the hands up. Exhale, goddess. Doing this for a few rounds. Follow your breath. Holding here. One more breath. Good. Release the hands down to the hips, straighten through the legs. Turn the right toes forward, stepping up to the top of our mat. We're going to come back. You're going to want your rolled up blanket. We're going to lay now on our bellies, on our rolled up blanket. You're going to want the blanket right below the ribs, between the pelvis and the ribs. So right here on the belly. So maybe move around, find a space. You don't want to feel uncomfortable, but you want a little bit of pressure, okay? And just let the legs fall apart. Relax the glutes, let the heels roll out. Let the arms come into cactus. With the palms facing down. If it's too much, if it feels too uncomfortable, you can always do this without the blanket as well. Just begin to move and breathe into the belly. Moving the breaths deep into the belly. Feeling the belly press into the floor. And exhale. Release. Doing this just for a few rounds. Okay. Next, inhale. You're going to bring your elbows in under the shoulders. Palms spread wide, coming into our Sphinx pose. So bring the shoulders back and down. Imagine pulling, your heart is being pulled forward through the chest. Feeling that pubic bone press down into the mat. Activate your arms, pull your fingertips back towards the body as the chest reaches forward even more. One more breath here. Exhale, releasing down, making a little pillow, one palm on top of the other, and just wiggle those hips into the earth. From here, hands come down by the rib cage. Press yourself back. Maybe we take a couple rounds of cat-cow here. And just allow the body maybe to move whatever way feels good for you in this moment. Before letting the knees come wide, toes come together, letting yourself sit back into your child's pose. If hips are a little tight, this is where you can bring your rolled up blanket. Let them support the hips as you reach the arms forward. Maybe we need a block under the forehead. Finding where you are at in this moment, what feels good to you. Begin to move the breath now into the back side of the body, feeling the kidneys, the back space expanding up and out with the inhale. Seeing if you can soften and relax a bit through the hips with the exhales. One more breath here. Slowly begin to walk your hands in. You're going to bring your knees together. We're going to sit back, coming into our hero's pose. If this is uncomfortable for the knees, you can also bring a block, 2 blocks, lots of pillows. Give yourself a little height. If that as well is too uncomfortable, come into your cross-legged seated position with something to elevate your hips. Okay, I'm going to be sitting in my hero's pose. We're going to inhale, open our arms nice and wide. Exhale, we're going to give ourselves a hug, bringing that left hand over the right. Then we're going to bring the backs of our hands up towards each other. Maybe we can bring our hands, the palms of our hands, wrapping around into eagle arms. Taking a moment to find an adjustment. Maybe we're just here. Maybe we're just here giving ourselves a hug. Finding what feels good. We're just going to gently do some neck rolls. So letting the chin come down to the front, to the right. Letting the head fall back if that feels good. Otherwise, just bringing it across, chin to the opposite shoulder. Making a few rounds here. Moving as fast or as slow as feels good to you. Release, open wide. Inhale. Exhale, right hand over left, hug. Option to stay here. Option to bring the backs of the hands towards each other. Option to see if you can bring your palms towards each other. Eagle arms. Breathing here. Begin to roll your head in the opposite direction. Letting the head fall back, only if that feels good. Right, this practice is here to serve us, to serve you and what you need in this moment. Your body. One more breath. And slowly release. Let the arms open back up one more time. Coming down. Going to come into our final resting pose, Shavasana. If you like, you can place a bolster, a pillow under the back side of the knees. You can cover your body with that rolled up blanket or towel. Coming into a nice, comfortable position. Getting yourself nice and cozy as we lay ourselves back. Taking a moment to lift the left shoulder, bring the scapula down the back. Lifting the right. Taking a moment to just settle in here. Letting go of your practice, letting go of your breath. With every exhale, feel yourself melting a little bit more into the floor below. Taking any last micro adjustments. Before you come to your final resting pose, final resting place. Taking in all the benefits here for the work that you've done today. Circulating and activating the lymphatic system. to bring more balance back into your whole being. Resting here for as long as your day allows. Thank you for practicing with me, Mama. Namaste.